midclavicular line. From an area of tympani well below the expected liver, percuss up to the lower border of liver dullness. Mark this spot. Then percuss from lung resonance down the midclavicular line to the upper border of liver dullness. Mark this spot too. Measure the span of liver dullness between your two marks. Here it is about 7 centimeters. To palpate the liver. Place your left hand behind the chest margin, and your right hand lateral to the rectus abdominis muscles and well below the lower border of liver dullness. Press gently into the abdomen, and as the patient breathes deeply, try to feel for the liver edge as it moves down. If possible, let the liver slip under your finger pads as you feel its surface. Try there again. Once more. You often need to try again, using different pressures and moving your fingertips closer to the costal margin. The hooking technique may also be helpful. Standing to the right of the patient's chest, place the fingers of both hands below the border of liver dullness, and press in and up toward the costal margin. Ask the patient to take a deep breath. One more time. All right, out. This liver is not palpable. That's fine. To assess for tenderness when the liver is not palpable, place your left hand flat on the right lower rib cage and gently strike it with the ulnar surface of your right fist. Ask the patient to compare the sensation with a similar strike on the other side. To assess the size of the spleen, percuss the left lower anterior chest wall in a lateral direction, noting the extent of tympani. If tympani is prominent laterally, spleen enlargement is unlikely. Next, check for a spine percussion sign. Find the lowest interspace in the left anterior axillary line and percuss there. If tympani is heard, ask the patient to take a deep breath. All right, as you continue to percuss in the same place. When spleen size is normal, tympani usually persists, and continue to percuss in the same place. When spleen size is normal, tympani usually persists, and the sign is considered negative. An enlarged spleen is then very unlikely. When spleen is enlarged, tympani often changes to dullness. This is a positive sign. This sign may be falsely positive, but it indicates careful palpation. Or how I feel the spleen. Next, palpate the spleen. With your left hand, reach over and around the patient to support the left lower posterior rib cage and adjacent tissue. Place your right hand on the abdomen, low enough to detect a large spleen, and point your fingers toward the costal margin. When the patient takes a deep breath, try to feel the spleen as it comes down to meet your fingertips. Repeat several times, varying your hand position and moving it up gradually toward the costal margin. Now could you roll and ask the patient to turn onto the right side, and try again. The spleen is not usually palpable. If you feel it, measure its distance in centimeters from the costal margin during inspiration. Take a deep breath. Out. Once again.
This next segment will be the lymph nodes of the head and neck, followed by the lymph. When you're examining the lymph nodes, you'll be using the tips or pads of probably your second, third, and fourth finger, and using when you're examining the lymph nodes, you'll be using the tips or pads of probably your second, third, and fourth finger, and using skin moving circles that I'll demonstrate for you. And skin moving circles. Remember that when you're doing the lymph node exam, you're basically covering geographic areas where lymph nodes might be enlarged. You may well do this exam and have nothing that you feel abnormal, but you're attempting to cover the spaces and the geographic areas where the lymph nodes might be enlarged. You'll start with the preauricular, which is the area right. You'll start with this in the geographic areas where the lymph nodes might be enlarged. You'll start with the preauricular, which is the area right in front of the ear. And again, so notice the skin moving circle with the fingertips of your hands. Move backwards to the occipital nodes, and a good way to have the patient relax that skin for you is to have them deep right back, and then you can conceal that better. You want to make sure that your patient has good exposure of their circumflexicular areas so that you can do the posterior and anterior cervical lymph nodes. Remember, the boundaries of the posterior triangle are the trapezius, the clavicle, and the posterior border of the sternocleidomastoid. So on both sides, simultaneously, you'll cover the border of the trapezius, across the clavicles, and then behind the sternocleidomastoids, and then fill in whatever space you haven't already covered. The next lymph node group is over the sternocleidomastoids, and again, with skin moving circles, you'll cover that space. When you do the anterior triangles, you want to do them separately because we have our patient turn their head toward the side that you're examining to loosen up that skin muscle. The borders of the anterior triangle are the front of the sternocleidomastoid, the midline, and the angle of the chin. So now you're going to come down the front of the sternocleidomastoid, up the midline, to the angle of the chin, and fill in. Then you can do the submandibular and submandibular on that side. And your patient tip their head to the other side, so like that. Use your other hand to go down the front, the sternocleidomastoid, up the midline, to the angle of the chin, fill in, and turn your finger for the submandibular. You're done with the cranial exam. The next exam is the re-examination of the supraclavicular nodes. To do that, you have your patient take one hand, put it on their hip, and kind of roll their shoulder forward. This opens up the supraclavicular fossa, You can feel over that clavicle again, and then hook your fingers over and have the patient bear down. Feel the same thing present to your fingertips. Same thing on the other side, that hand on your hip, roll your shoulder forward. Feel over the clavicle, hook your fingers over the clavicle, and have the patient bear down. Good. Next we'll move to the thyroid. For this, your patient's going to swallow numerous times. So they get a cup of water, take some sips. Go ahead and take a sip and swallow. And the first thing we're going to do is light the neck during the swallow. Take another sip, hold it until I tell you to swallow. Go ahead and swallow. When I light the neck with this sort of transverse lighting, it casts shadows so that you may be able to see an abnormality, a difference from one side to the other. Now we're going to do the palpation of the isthmus of the thyroid. Go ahead and have your patient take a sip, hold it in your mouth until I tell you to swallow. The isthmus of the thyroid is below the thyroid cartilage. So get your landmarks, thyroid, right quick, and then slip right under. Go ahead and have the patient swallow. See if you can feel that very thin structure of the isthmus on here. The isthmus of the thyroid is the only structure that rises on swallowing, the only soft tissue structure. So that's actually what you're feeling for. Take another step. Thyroid, right quick. Right underneath it, one finger. Go ahead. Feel for that very thin structure. Then you have your patient tip their head toward the side of the thyroid that you're going to be examining. Go ahead and take another step. Hold it until I tell you to swallow. This time you want to bring a little skin over the sternocleidomastoid muscles and then tuck in under them, right low on the neck. And have your patient swallow and see if you can feel the lobes. So go ahead and swallow. Go ahead, take another step. I hope you have none. Keep your head turned. Again, bring some skin over the sternocleidomastoid. Tuck your fingers underneath that muscle, low on the neck. Go ahead and have your patient swallow. Good. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. Except you're going to have your patient turn their head away from you to the side that you're going to be examining. Have them take a sip of water. You want to bring your fingers around the sternocleidomastoid and tuck underneath them and have your patient swallow. I'm going to show you a second way of doing that, another approach that you may decide you prefer and you see other people use. And I'm going to get some extra water for our patient because I'm going to spit out. So let me supply. Use the same hand motion. So I'm going to sit up behind the patient. If there was a tremendous size difference between me and my patient, or if I couldn't make this happen, you could turn the patient on the table so that you could stand and do this from the posterior approach. You're again finding your landmarks. Right, go ahead. Slipping right under that lower cartilage and having your patient take a sip and swallow. Now I'm going to feel the left lobe with my right hand. Have the patient turn their head, get some skin over, and tuck in under that sternocleidomastoid and have the patient swallow. You got water? Go ahead and swallow. Good. To feel the right lobe, I'm going to use my left hand, find my landmark again. Go ahead and see if I can feel the isthmus. Go ahead and take a sip and swallow. And then have your patient turn their head, and then put your hand around, tuck under that sternocleidomastoid again, and sip and swallow again. Good. Okay. So that's another technique that you can use.
That's what we're doing.
That's right. Oh! Try again. Really thorough. So there's need to be about it. I'm not sure if anyone's going to battle. How far is the engineer? Okay.
Yeah, one day.
Oh, I see.
We can get interest on it. That's what I got it. Never turn. They're gone.
Ah! Ay, 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 oh my. Ah! Ay, 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 oh my.
Oh, that was good. Just check again. Let them throw hands. That's not good.
No kidding. So when you came back in, they said, "Let's just let us."
No, they had been on that.
No kidding. So when you came back in, they said, "Let's just let us."
No, they had been on that. Let's do a chest X-ray, like I have pneumonia. And another doctor come in and said, something about, let's just go ahead and do a CAT scan, something like that. So they did a CAT scan, lung biopsy. So when they did that, I coded.
Oh my goodness.
And then they put me on ventilator. Lung biopsy. So when they did that, I coded.
Oh my goodness.
And then they put me on ventilator. Do anything you want to do? I don't care, put me on ventilator.
Right. Well, you need to be in a situation like that so you can picture.
Yeah, because I was watching it, whatever, and in the bar.
Are you coming back December 3rd? I'm sorry, I never remember. Okay, because they have some lab to be drawn, and I just want to make sure it's supposed to get back to you. So you were what? Watching this?
Yeah.
So you didn't know any of this yet?
Yeah, and
So you're not getting lab for the 3rd?
No.
I thought that's what was going to happen. I don't know.
Did they want you to? I have lab for today that they added just a CBC because they always do a biopsy. And then I have study lab.
Thank you.